Good day, and welcome to another broadcast of the Competitive Edge. Today, we're going to be having a very dynamic conversation. We're going to be talking about money management. But just before I get to this program started, I want to make a couple of things clear. Before you can manage money, you need to have money. You can't manage what you do not have. And secondly, for you to manage money, you need to understand money because you can't manage what you do not understand. So, we're saying all of this because the fact that we see millions of people across the world, you have an income, you have expenditure, and then when we look at your balance sheet, you have zero bank balance. You have more days in the month. And because of that, we are seeing that you're not in that position of strength to have the money. So you can't manage the money. You're not making enough of that money. And along with that, we're also seeing that you don't really understand money and how money works. So I encourage you to stay with us today because I have a team of dynamic personality in the studio today to really help you to understand not only how money works, but also to understand how to make money, all right, and how to position yourself for financial greatness. So, with me in the studio today, I have Frank, and Frank, he is an economist by profession, and he really understands a lot of money moves, economic move to put you in a financial strength. He's also a great leader. Along with that, I have Shivani. Shivani is a project management specialist. Shivani Sinarayan, a project management practitioner. And Shivani will really be telling you how to incorporate projects or how to see projects as a strategic play on increasing your disposable income. Because you may have to develop a project, implement that project, and use that project as a means of generating additional funds. She's an expert in this field and she will talk us through that platform. We also have Paul Whitehouse, and Paul Whitehouse, he represents Patriot Business Finance Consultant. And Paul is the guy that literally says you are approved. So whether you need debt and equity and credit or creative financing or, factoring, he is the guy that has all of the contacts that can really help you to access the funding. All right. So you don't have a money problem when you're here with us. So if you have a business and you need access to capital, Frank is one of our, Paul is our go-to person in this regard. Along with this, we have Peter. We have a large team today. We have Peter, and Peter, he will be talking to you about your legacy plan. He represents Legacy Chronicle Human Growth Program, and he will be talking to you about your master plan. What role does your master plan plays in really helping you to have the upper hand on money management? So he will walk you through the importance of master planning. Last but not least, we have Elmer in the house today. And Elmer, he's a specialist on cryptocurrency. And today, Elmer is going to be talking to us about risk associated with cryptocurrency, how to mitigate those risks, and along with that, how to make massive amounts of money from cryptocurrency. So, as you see, we have a dynamic team of people lined up here to talk to us about money. With that being said, I want to welcome each and every one of you to today's program. How are you guys?
Great. Good.
Hey,
Amazing.
wonderful,
Awesome.
wonderful.
Awesome. All right. With that being said, I want to start off with Paul, as usual, because if you have a business, obviously you need access to capital. And I don't want to keep you waiting too long to really understand the practical steps that you can take to access the much needed money that you need to grow and scale your business. So I first of all want to ask Paul to talk to us a bit about the capital that you have available that the public, in 50 states in the United States of America can access right now. Paul, all to you.
Okay. Thank you, Gary. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. And I'll get right to the point, make it simple. Excellent credit, difficult credit, everything plugs into what we do. Equipment financing. If you have a business, then you obviously need equipment. There's very few businesses that don't. I guess I would be one of them. I need a pen, a paper, and a computer. Otherwise, most businesses need equipment. That would be construction equipment, dump trucks, bulldozers, semi trucks, big pieces of equipment that you put in a machine shop and you bolt to the ground. Well, that's equipment and you need it. And it's expensive. It's an expensive world today. So how do you get the financing for that? You contact Gary, you contact me. We set you up under the best circumstances. When I say best circumstances, I mean better than your bank, because I'm going to have to give you the reason for you to want to work with us instead of the bank that you've been working with for 30 years. And here's the reason. Your bank just simply doesn't love you like you think that they do. They've got money available for you, yes, but they've got money available for you under their terms, and their terms are kind of steep. So if somebody has a difficult credit score, and that stuff happens, it's America, it's the world. You know, you're going to run into ups and downs. So difficult credit can be approved with our lenders. Our lenders, they don't take credit, they don't issue debit cards, they don't do auto loans. They don't they don't finance houses. They only focus on equipment financing. They are specialists in that field. And we represent close to 30 or 40 equipment finance companies. So as far as equipment, we got you covered. Call us, least expensive money first, best terms and conditions. That's what we structure for you at Patriot Business Finance Consultants. Next thing that we offer would be commercial and investment real estate financing. Not owner occupied, not the house that you live in, but not non-owner occupied investment and commercial real estate. Same thing. If you got difficult credit and you've been declined at your bank, well, don't give up. Call us because we can do it. So we got you covered with real estate financing. There's going to be other things for businesses. If you're doing business to business sales, then you're issuing an invoice and you're waiting 30 days to get paid. Sometimes that payment doesn't come in 38 days. And trust me, it's not going to come on day 10 because you gave them terms and they're going to take advantage of the terms. They might even take advantage of the terms and pay you in 40 or 45 or 60 days. So what do you do while you're waiting for your money? And it's not just one person that owes you money. If you're doing business, a lot of business, you've got hundreds of invoices that go out per month. And all that money belongs to you. But guess what? It's floating out there in space and you can't grab it. I got to wait for you to grab it because cash flow's tight. You have to pay your employees. You have to buy raw materials. You have to manufacture the product or provide the service, but you need money to do that. But money's tight. How do you grab that money out of thin air? It's called factoring. We will set you up with a factoring relationship. And what that factoring company will do is they will buy your invoice from you at a discount. Now, you might be thinking, at a discount, why am I going to sell my money at a discount? Well, because you don't have money to operate with right now, so you have to get cash flow. And if somebody's going to advance you the money for your accounts receivable, which are your greatest asset for your business, then it's obvious it's going to cost. Nobody does anything for free. What type of discount am I talking about? I'm talking about 98. You might get 1.5% discount. It might be a 3% discount. Depends on what you commit to for annual volume. How much business are you going to do with them every year? If it's a lot, then your discount will be smaller. If you're going to do very little, the discount is going to be higher. So, but let me wrap it up by saying this. 98, 97, 98 cents on the dollar. That's what you're selling your invoice for. So if it's a $10,000 invoice, you're getting 80% of it advanced, which is $8,000 as soon as you perform the service and issue the invoice. And then what about the other $2,000? That will come to you when your client pays the invoice. But the whole $2,000 isn't going to come to you. You're going to get $1,800. So you've cashed your invoice out for $9,800 and you got the money now. And that money now is important if you don't have it. So that's factoring. Purchase order financing, you get a large order from, let's just throw out the biggest company out there. You get a large order from Walmart. They want 1 million shoes from you. And you have to buy them from the manufacturer in whatever part of the world that's at. You don't have the money to pay for that order. So what do? Would you like to pass up the order and say no to Walmart? Thank you, Walmart, but I can't supply you. You don't really want to say that. You want to form that relationship. You want to get the money. So what do? If you're buying 1 million pairs of shoes, you probably can't go to your brother and borrow that money. But a purchase order financing company, which we can set you up with, will partner with you. They will pay for the manufacturing of the product. They'll pay for the service. They'll pay, if it's a product, they'll pay for the truck or the ship if it's coming from overseas to deliver it to America and take it to Walmart. That's PO financing. You got somebody who steps up, pays the bill for you. When Walmart gets the shoes and pays that bill, everybody gets paid. A PO financing company gets paid for the money that they fronted you. Then the profit comes, and out of that profit, they get their fee for doing the service for you and your business. That is purchase order financing. That allows you to fill orders that you otherwise would not be able to fill. And last but not, well, there's more. I got like variations of all this stuff. Sale leaseback. If you have equipment that you own free and clear and you need working capital, we can pull money out of the assets that you own free and clear. Dump trucks, bulldozers, heavy equipment, whatever. It's an asset, you can pull money out of it. Sale leaseback, make the payments, you own the equipment back. And you keep the equipment for use, obviously, to generate the money to make that payment. So that's the sale leaseback. Last but not least, Securities and Exchange Commission capital raises. If somebody is talking to you about raising money for your company, well, they better attach the word Securities and Exchange Commission compliant to the end of it, because if not, you're raising money illegally. You got to do it the right way. I'm a scout for 2 investment bankers. They raise money for startups. Specifically, we love the industrial hemp fiber industry. So if you hear the words industrial hemp fiber, you know what that means. Absolutely. Contact Gary, contact me, paul@patriotbfc.com. Gary's email is going to come across in a little bit, or DM him. Let's talk industrial hemp fiber. So raising money for startups and growth capital for existing businesses with strong financials. I think that covers it, Gary. Let's create a financing. We'll find a way when there is no way. You're on mute.
All right, so that was a lot for the public, and I'm excited that Paul did lay this groundwork to ensure that, rising stars in business, we are doing this to really help you. We're doing this to ensure that you are aware, you have the information that you're a US-based business and you need money now to grow and scale your corporate vision. You don't have to struggle not being able to access those capital, because we are bringing to you the expertise. Paul is an expert. You heard him go through so many different financial instruments, and he is committed to that process to ensuring that you get the capital to grow and scale. Alongside Paul, I will come to really not only help you to understand what is financial instruments, but how to access, how to leverage, and how to mitigate capital. So there's a lot for you to learn. Now, I'm going to come to Frank now, and then I'm going to come right over to Shivani. Frank, I would love to hear your specific thoughts on leadership and money management. Shivani, I'm coming to you. I would love to have your take on, the role that project management plays in helping people to, increase their disposable income. It might be a corporate project or a private project, but people can never get enough of money. So I'm going to come to you shortly, Shivani. Frank, all to you.
Thanks. And
Welcome, my friend.
Money is always needed, especially in leadership and management positions. And that's one of the reasons why we have um, financial um, chief financial officers. But one of the things that we need to understand is that for great success to occur, you need to make a great financial decision. Whether you're a new business leader or a seasoned expert, you can always improve your personal budget and find ways to manage your finance more effectively. From simple but sound practices such as reviewing expenses regularly to managing long term investments properly. The right approach to your finance can set you up a life of prosperity, and it's never too late to start. I, I'll just run through a few ways in which leaders can manage finances. And the first thing is review your expenses regularly. If you start with your personal budget, take the time every year to go over your expenses in detail and cut through the shaft where necessary. You may have a $200 per month saving somewhere. It may not seem like a huge deal on a month to month basis. And getting the best deal in every bill adds up to significantly over time. After all, you don't get the stability by spending money unnecessarily. What happens if you want to spend money on big purchases? The first thing you need to do is sleep on those big purchases. Whether it's a home, a business investment, or the latest 4K smart TV. It's a sound idea to wait 24 hours before making any big purchase. You use those hours to make a pros and cons list, shop around for better deals, or just wait and make sure that you actually want that smart TV. No big purchase is so important that they can't wait a day. And this smart practice eliminates the possibility of impulse buys. You can check around for money market rates. Just because you have a money market account already doesn't mean that you can sit back and let it grow. So you check around regularly for money market rates at local banks to see where you could be getting a better deal. And often than not, if you find a high interest rate elsewhere and you're a valued customer of your current bank, you can convince them to raise your interest rate in exchange for keeping your business. A lot of people don't know that. There's another instrument, or the auto slip deposits. Make allocating funds effortless by auto splitting your direct deposit. The general rule is to save 10 to 15% of your income for retirement through, well, in the US, you have the IR or the 401k, and then 20% of your income is basic savings, money market, or other investment savings. Of course, make sure that all of your accounts are high interest and low fee where possible. Maximize flexible spending accounts. Now, many insurance plans offer flexible spending account that lets you save money tax-free toward out-of-pocket medical expenses. Make sure you're putting in the maximum contribution every year to avoid um, whatever state taxes on that amount. However, you need to make sure that you actually use those funds before you allocate them. Because at the end of the year, any money that isn't spent from the account can be forfeited. And that's the effort we're talking about, this flexible spending account. Make long-term investment. All of us have heard the term patience is a virtue. So holding on to high quality investment as a buy and hold investor will pay off in the long run. Learn to let go of hopeless stuff early on while recognizing and riding winners until they peak. combine the price earnings ratio and value oriented strategy so that you can recognize when a stock is worth holding on to, when it's not worth holding on to. After all, it only takes one top tier investment to make years of waiting worthwhile. Personal and business finance are skills that you use for a lifetime once they develop into habits. So if you make these smart finance tips second nature by practicing them now, you will find that a frugal mindset is what you need, but will help you to manage your money responsibly, ensuring that you hit your financial goals every year, year in and year out. How about you, Gary?
All right, thanks for that share, Paul. Frank, why I keep mixing up the day. I love the last point that you made.
I think because I think because we bald.
Paul head.
That's it.
I got to put a dot on each head to distinguish the difference.
I mean, you never confuse me with Peter ever.
I'm just being funny, guys.
Definitely not with me.
No,
I got you. Yeah, my friend. A good point, Frank. You know, I love the fact that you spoke about long-term investments. I do believe that an essential part of any money move is not just to think short-term, it's to think long-term. But I leave it there for now. I want to come to Shivani, but just before I come to Shivani, I want to just re-emphasize what I said at the beginning. It's important to have money, all right, because you can manage what you don't have. It's important to understand money. You can manage what you don't understand also. And what I want to do is to give some quick hacks. You know, if you're the type of person that is going paycheck to paycheck and you're not able to break that cycle, I quickly want to say to you, take some time out and start learning about what we call trade lines. There is vendor trade lines, there is store trade lines, and two main trade lines, and there's credit. Now, what does that mean? It means that you can walk into one of the top stores in the US and you could negotiate for net 30, 60, and 90. You could even do this from your phone once you're a US citizen. What that does, it gives you an opportunity to play in the space of what they call drop shipping. All right, so you have a line of credit. It could be $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, and they give you that line of credit. So you might know someone that wants a TV. Frank was just talking about TV or machinery. Uh, they have the cash to buy it. They don't know where to go and buy it. You can use your contact, your trade lines to make that purchase, have it shipped to them, and you collect that cash money. But guess what else? You have 30, 60, or 90 days to pay off that debt. So when they pay you, you have money in your hand. That money could be invested into perhaps a smart investment portfolio. And you have 30 days, you don't have to pay any money on that. You have no interest to pay on that line of credit, but now you have money in your hand. So there's a lot of creative approaches. You heard Paul talk earlier about creative financial approaches that can be used to help you to have residual income. There's so much that I want to say here, but I'm going to pause. We have a dynamic team, and I want to hear from everybody. Shivani, what I've just talked about could be a project, but I want you to give your take on the significant role that project management plays in helping the individual to think outside of the box when it comes to making major money moves.
Thanks, Gary. Now, project management, my concept is it's a 6 step model actually, project management for life, all right? Where, a lot of us will only think about project management and making you have to be hired as a project manager and then you'll run your project within the organization. But you can take these same principles and actually practice it in life. That's what project management is all about. Now you want to make money. Everybody wants more money. At the end of the day, I don't want to be in my normal income job and retired, and that's when I'll get. There was a term going around recently that I was hearing, financial freedom. And I said to myself, oh my, these people now getting financial freedom when they retire, right? I can't wait so long. I can't wait so long at all, at all, at all. So I got to do something differently, because I don't want to wait until you get retirement age in order to now get financial freedom.
Freedom.
My head started to hurt because I said, I want everything now. I'm a now person, right? So the project management approach is where you have to look at all the different things that you can do. What can you do to bring in money? And last week, we spoke about collaboration and ideation and connecting really with different people to give you the ideas. Because I don't know everything, you don't know everything. So we need to connect with people. Connection is a big part, and collaborating with the correct people as well. I'm saying to connect with the correct people. However, sometimes just connecting with anyone, an idea could come. So don't underestimate. Don't think that I'll only go and connect with Frank because Frank knows about this, or I'll only go and connect with Peter because Peter, says connect with anybody. Connect with anybody. Well, that's my concept. And connecting with anyone, sometimes an idea will flow. Now, what exactly is this project management mindset or thinking to allow you to make more money? We're not talking about projects in isolation. We need to think now about a program. A program is made up of multiple related projects. So what are the projects that you believe can make this money so you're going to project managementize it? So if it's a year, I look at about 3 major projects, right? I may look at a small one, I may look at a large, and probably a medium size. So I'm also categorizing the type of projects that can probably make this money for me. Because I can't invest everything into one, because investing everything into one project, definitely I'm not going to make all that money, right? So I have to analyze a few options. And I know that's what Paul was talking about also, the different types of financial instruments. You have many different types. So it's the same concept in projects. But you have to have your personal program. Your program is made up of multiple related projects. How do you get these projects? Again, you have to collaborate with people. You have to ideate. You have to listening to me to this program. I got many ideas. There's crypto, there's master planning, all these PO financing. I got many, many different ideas coming from this that will help me now to categorize different types of planning. So the concept of how project management can help you and to move away, that you have to wait to retirement to get financial freedom, is to do it now, start now, which is you take a year and you say, okay, what are the different types of projects that you want to do? So once you're talking about multiple projects, that is a program. You can also, the hierarchy of project management, you could also up it into a portfolio of projects. And you could have a 3-year plan. So you have different questions that you could ask. Now, this is going into a little more into what Peter will speak about, his different questions in how he will get the information from you. But it is tying strategic planning for life into projects and how the both can tie in really, really good to get you better success. Because you have to have a plan, right? So the project management for me will be a program thinking, managing multiple related projects and sometimes non-related. Then I'll have to monitor it. Then I'm saying, okay, am I starting with a small project? Am I starting with a medium? Am I starting with a large? And probably look at the large, taking some of the capital or the wealth that I generate from the small to even make it larger. So that's the type of thinking. My key takeaways that I hope you get from this conversation so far, Gary, would be 1, program management. It's not only projects and I'm doing one project to give me financial freedom. I have to look at multiple projects. I have to ideate and collaborate with people to get the ideas. I also place another point in the conversation, which is design thinking. Design thinking will help me to ideate, right? And it's a 5-step model as well. So Thanks, Gary.
Great share, Shivani. What I take away is what I heard. I heard strategic collaboration. And of course, I see you try to work your way around strategic collaboration. But I do believe from a business standpoint, strategic collaboration is vital. You may have skill sets that is not within the organization, um, or you may have additional leverage that you can create that is outside of the organization. So collaboration is what makes it happen. And that brings us to another conversation where we always talk about merger and acquisition. And just let me give a quick idea here. We have seen that small companies, in order to compete, they have collaborated. You have what is known as vertical collaboration and horizontal collaboration. And that collaboration really helps them to attain a certain degree of competitive advantage and greater strength in the market, which ultimately help them to increase their disposable income. So I love the concept, Shivani. It's a very broad concept, but I think it was well said. So I really trust that the public took away the essence of what Shivani was saying. I want to come quickly now uh, to Ivor, and then I'm going to come to you, Peter. But Ivor, I want you to focus on three specific things for us, but I want you to take it in bite chunks. I just want you to give me the first one now. Uh, People across the world are now becoming to get familiar with cryptocurrency. You are an expert in that space, and most persons are not. Can we begin by looking at what you perceive as the benefits of investing in the Bitcoin crypto currency space?
Sure. So the first thing is that when we look at Bitcoin itself, it's always, and I always relate this to everyone, the first thing that we must do is read the white paper. And so when we're able to take just a little bit of that information, it's really short, it's only 9 pages. When you start to understand the way that the protocol works, the way that the ecosystem is set up, and the way that when you start to look into the history of what cryptocurrency is today, when was it started, who was the first, as it was a physicist that came up with the idea of creating electronic cash, and this happened back in the 70s. So when you start to look at how many times it was trying to launch, because in the 70s there was no technology to be able to launch it. In the 80s it was eCash, and then we had the like late 90s we had Nick Savos, which is now known as the godfather of smart contracts, tried to come up with an eCash version, but the marketplace and the technologies were not ready. And the reason why all of these individuals have, throughout the time, look at this alternative for an electronic cash system, it's the main base of it was to be able to bring market freedom. And what I mean by that is that, like, we understand that in order to be able to gain access to funding, we need to have a couple of, ducks in a row to be able to get access to the funding. Well, in the same manner that we have now to understand what our current monetary system is like, whether if we are in a fiduciary note system, if we are in a asset backed based system, then this makes huge differences. And so once you start to get a little bit more into depth into, well, in at least in the US, we have the fiduciary system through the central banking system, the Federal Reserve. And so this is something that has been attempted before to be withdraw from, to be able to create a back asset that's backed by gold or silver or something that's tangible. Every time that has had happened through history, it has been turned back. and to understand how now we are in this evolution of the whole new entire computer system around the world, and how the internet is evolving from what we know right now that we're using right now, which is the web 2, where our
But
transition.
Elmer, you make you made some very good points.
Yeah.
Elmer, are you there?
Yep. You hear me?
Are you hearing me, Elmer? You you made some very great points just now, and I just want to ask you for some clarification on that.
Yeah.
And let me tell you the points that you would have made. Today we call the currency fiat currency, and there's a reason why we call it fiat currency, because it's not backed by gold.
Correct.
And we know those are some of the reasons why we continue to have the dollar being inflated, and so and unstable. Um, can you draw the differences between the current fiat currency and crypto from the perspective of what is it backed by? What makes it different? Um, what makes it better? So we can help the public to understand that.
Okay.
The other thing that I would love to add to what you're saying is that you are an author, all right? You're not a newcomer. You have spent quite a number of years researching electric cash and digital currency. You've spent quite a number of years understanding, studying this. I also want to add that while a large part of the world is not in touch with a lot of what you're saying, countries like China, they are way ahead of the curve in what you're talking about. So you might be saying things that people may not understand, but not because they don't understand it, you are not on point. But just to help them to understand a little bit more, can you draw the distinction between fiat currency and the cryptocurrency in terms of what crypto is backed by?
Certainly. And so the fiat, I'm going to start with the fiat currency system. The fiat currency system, it's a system that is developed throughout the central bank system, that it's only going to be able to, as time goes by and more of this is needed to be able to get it put into the marketplace, you're going to see the drawdown of the purchasing power. Now, when you look into a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, to be specific, then we're looking at what it's backing Bitcoin. And the whole entire thing that backs Bitcoin is its network. This network is robust, and the network is made to be able to maintain robust and throughout time gain purchasing power instead of losing purchasing power. The reason why this happens is because there is a finite amount. And because there is a finite amount of cryptocurrency that's going to be able to be minted, which will be like in the fiat currency world. In the fiat world, it will be printing money. If so, there's only a finite amount. In the printing money fiat world, there is no set definite amount. So this makes it become more not volatile, but it makes it lose purchasing power as time is going by, and as more of these dollars are being printed, it loses its power. Versus that, as the contraction of having a limited supply for the whole entire world to share, it becomes more valuable, just like other commodities, and it's able to gain purchasing power as time is going to be passing by, and as
Got you.
that limit is coming to do.
Got you. All right, I'm going to come right back to you just now, Elmore. I want to come across to Peter. But I just want you to think about this question. We have seen the almost crash of the Bitcoin cryptocurrency space with what happened with Sam Bankman-Fried.
Yes.
The global public loss of confidence in the sector is very visible. But what we've seen happening today is that there's a major bounce back. that is taking place. We are seeing that there is a tremendous upbeat in the United States and other parts of the world. People's appetite are now becoming to be more open towards investing in this space. Can you help us to understand what is happening right now? What's creating that change? What is the future of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency? I'm coming back to you with that. All right. So, yeah, I'm going to come. Peter, all to you. Can you talk to us about the importance of master planning and the significant role it plays in the financial management for the average man and even a business? All to you, Peter.
Yeah, Gary, and I'm so thankful for this program and for individuals joining us today. We just want to let you know that our focus is to empower you with this bit of understanding so that you can navigate your life. In our focus in dealing with master planning, especially where personal life is concerned, every individual, they do understand that money is the oxygen of the economy, the oxygen of your body as a person, as an individual. If you don't have oxygen flowing through your system, then you are suffocating and eventually you will die. In your personal economy as well, if you do not have money flowing through your personal economy, then economically, you will die. That's just the way how it is. And so what we try to get individuals to understand, okay, what are the plans you have where your economic life is concerned, and what are the instruments that you can create as a person, your own individual instruments. And so to get somebody to understand their personal instruments that they can use, we talk about the three layers of personal productivity. And their personal productivity, is we tend to ask questions. What is in your hand for your personal productivity? If you're going to build a plan by which an individual is going to generate revenue, generate money, the question is, what is in your hand? And we get individuals to understand what their hand is and what their hand represents. Your hand represents your skills, both your natural and your acquired skills, what you can use your hands to do. What are you good at, and how can you use what you have to generate money? And most people understand this because they go out, they have a job, so they go out and they do that job from what is in their hands, their trained ability or their natural ability. But then we want to take it a step further, because we understand that we get individuals to understand that if you are just working at what your hands can do, then that is limited to time. And what happens is that we do not have enough time in the day to really generate the kind of revenue that is necessary for them to have a empowered life and to create that legacy and to create that impact kind of mastery that they want to do. So we get individuals to understand then you have to become more than just a practitioner. You want to be more of a master. Don't just do the thing. What is now in your heart? You're not just doing the thing now. But the next question is, what is in your heart? How passionate are you about this? Is this thing that you're doing, is it a calling? Is there a mission and a purpose behind what you're doing? What is in your hand, is it captivated by what is coming out of your heart? Are you pouring into something that you're pouring you can pour your life into it, and this is something that you can dedicate your life to in a way by which it's going to impact your community, your family. And the third question that we ask individuals is, what is in your head? What is in your hand? What is in your heart? And then what is in your head? And when we get individuals to understand that what is in their head is their thoughts, the power of their creativity, That's where individuals can understand that there is unlimited resources. They can now capture what is in their hands, and they can now redevelop what they're doing in their hands to make it creative. Instead of doing something just one time and it served just one time, how can you do that one thing whereby it is, as we're talking about generating wealth, how can you do something one time and it creates a life on its own where it perpetuates its value into the future where you don't have to touch it again? How do you add creativity to what is in your heart? The passion that individuals have, how do you take that passion and make it into a business? How do you take that passion in which now individuals can take that passion and create multiple versions of it, whereby not just one place, but you can impact the lives in such a meaningful way that individuals will always be coming back to you because of how they feel when they are around you. And the creativity goes into when we people understand, the basic essence of creativity as we see in the world. uh, Individuals who are creative makes the most money. When you think about the artists of our world, when you think about the singers, those persons who are in the creative industry, those individuals who are into movies. What is a movie? It's a person who create this imaginary world, and that is where you're creative. What is in your head? In your head is your thoughts. In your head is your imagination. Put your thoughts and your creative thoughts and your imagination together, there is no end to where the individual can go. So those are the three basic questions we ask individuals for them to design their master plan. We want them to think about what is in their hand. We want them to think about what is in their heart, and we want them to think about what is in their head. And those are financial instruments because they already have that. They don't have to go look for that. That is within their position. They just have to now learn how to actually make a plan, to design, as Shivani was talking about, how to create a project. Create a project from what is in your hand. Create a project about what is in your heart, and create a project in what is in your head, and we're going to distribute those, and life is beautiful after that.
Great share, Peter. You made some points. What I take away is master your craft. You just don't want to do the thing. You want to master this thing. And I do believe that when you master your craft, you vibrate at a higher frequency. And that means that you're a greater asset to yourself and you're a greater asset to those around you. And in most cases, people, when you know what to do, they pay more for your value. All right, because you're able to negotiate that. Some other points that I took away, you didn't directly say it, but I took away this. There's a difference between earned income, investment income, and business income. And you need to understand all of this in the equation of what you have just spoken about. So what I will do, I will come to Paul, and then I'll come back to Elmore, and then I will ask everyone to just give a minute on advice to rising stars in business, people across the world who want to come into financial independence, who wants to manage money better. So what I will do, I will ask Paul to give us some more insight into money, into access to capital, into some of the portfolios that you have. Perhaps you can talk to us also. A part of managing money is to prepare to access capital. It's not just getting it and then start thinking. It's how you prepare yourself, first of all, to access it. I don't know what angle you're going to take it in, Paul, but all to you.
Okay, thank you. Well, I guess I'll just start by saying it is available and you're approved. That's it. Simple as that. If you got outstanding credit, good to excellent credit, time in business, and you're making money, you're approved, and you are. Question is, can I do it better than your bank? The answer to that is yes. Let's say you got difficult credit. Are you still approved because your bank turned you down last week and now you're distraught and you're not sure what angle you're going to go, what you're going to do? You're approved. Here's the catch. It's going to cost money down. And I can't solve that. Everywhere you go, that's going to be the situation. How am I going to do it better? I'm going to work to make that money down less because I can do that. I can call a lender and say, what about this? Or how can we do this? Or can you do this for me? So you're approved. But let's talk about preparation. I'll lead right into that. So if you do have difficult money management, let's say something happened and things happen, so don't feel bad about it, just correct it. But if something happened and your score took a dive, credit score, personal, or your Paydex score took a dive, how do you put that ship back on track? If you don't have any debt, because debt equals credit score, take on some debt. If you want that new dump truck, let's get you approved on it. And then the money management means make that payment on time every month. Keep making it on time. Because guess what's going to happen if you do that? Personal score improves, your business Paydex score improves, and all of a sudden, 18 months, 24 months later, you're back on track. And that's what we try to set you up with. So you can get back to that point to where you don't have to put down a large down payment and the cost of money is less expensive. I say this all the time, but it is the truth. Math is math. Math never lies. So every dollar that we are able to save you on financing goes directly to your bottom line. And that means more profit. And in the long run, what does that really mean? What's more profit mean? It means more money for you and your family. You can leave more for your kids, right? You can set up a larger legacy for your kids. Really, that's all I got to say on money management. Spend it wisely. Think, as Frank said, take a day and think about it. Make it make sense. Think deeply. Think deeply about everything that you do. Every single thing. Money management, driving your car, think deeply because your life is in your own hands. I like what Frank said. I like what everybody said. But when Frank's talking about take time and think about it, sit back and look at it, absolutely 1000%. Don't do anything like that. Now, if you have all the information, if you really have all the information, you really don't need to be what do you call it? You can make moves quickly. If you think about it and 2 hours later you're convinced and you've went to a friend or a mentor or your business partner and they like the idea and they're convinced, well, then you've taken that time and thought about it. There really is no time limit or certain amount of time that you have to sit and think. You can make quick decisions in 2 hours, or you might want to take that 24 hours. But money management requires thought, planning, and process, like Frank said. So do that, and do call us because we want to get you approved. Patriot Business Finance Consultants. Make your dreams come true. Come on, let's do it. I'm
Got
serious.
it. We certainly make those dreams come true. You made a very important point, however, and I just want to emphasize it a little bit before coming to Elmore. You talk about FICO score, you talk about Paydex score, and the reality is, if you cannot manage your FICO and your Paydex score, you really can't manage money. You know why? Because when your score is too low, guess what happened? The cost of capital become too high, and you're giving money away when you're not managing that part of your life. So it's very, very profound what you just said there. Love to share. Elmore, all to you. Tell us, and then I'm going to come to Frank to start giving us advice. I want everybody to at least give us a minute of advice on the public on how to manage, money. So I'm going to come to Frank after Elmore, Shivani, and I'm going to come around. Then we're going to begin to wrap up. Elmore, tell us what is happening. I was looking at the news recently, and I'm seeing that in America, another storm is about to take place. Everybody want to get piece of this, Bitcoin cryptocurrency storm. Talk to us. What's happening there? Help us understand that.
Okay. So now you're gonna get me too excited. There is a lot. There's a lot going on in the space. So here's what's happening. We in 15 years of having only retail investors in the marketplace and having pretty much the whole entire institutional, banking system laughing at this space, they have all come in really, really, really hard in the space, and I apologize for the choice of words that I'm using, but what's going on is that we have now the exchanges traded funds, the ETFs, that are what they have done is make the space for everyone else that was in doubt more solidified. But what has happened is that now we are in a race against institutions as individuals to be able to capture as much as we can possibly. And the reason why I say this is because the demand for Bitcoin from institutions is 10 times the amount available for purchase. So they are essentially between two of the biggest, let's just say BlackRock and Vanguard, they have acquired around 200,000 Bitcoin, which is around $10 billion. And they are trying to purchase as much as possible for these ETFs. This is because many individuals were not allowed by political agendas to get involved in the space, and the ETFs is the vehicle that allows them to be involved, and so they are very heavily getting involved. Uh, this is like a like the gunshot at the start line of a race that just went off in a huge way because there's something else happening in the space that nobody's really talking about, and the thing is that we have not just the Bitcoin ETF that were just approved, we have Ethereum ETF that's in the works, and rarely anyone is having this conversation about Ethereum because plainly barely people know that this is happening already in the background, but there is an opportunity here that we never had before, and it's the fact that we are having institutional money come in by the drones, and this is an opportune moment because when you understand the cycles of the cryptocurrency market, we are about to have the Bitcoin halving, which is the 4-year cycle of Bitcoin. And this means that the hash rate, which is essentially what allows the ecosystem to maintain alive, uh, is going to split. So, and to put it into common language, is what's going to happen is that when a somebody is essentially a miner of Bitcoin, and they are, you know, getting these blocks resolved, well, now they are going to be able to get half of the what they were getting prior to the prior 4 years in the remittance or the uh, money that they get for resolving the issue
Yeah,
of the block. And so
great.
this
I
is
want
really
to, yeah, I think it's very exciting what you're saying there, Elmore. And I want to add some clarity to what you would have said there just now, because you mentioned two financial instruments. You mentioned ETFs and you mentioned Vanguard. And I just want to share with the public the depths of what you're saying there. Now, ETFs, which is exchange trade funds, these are specially designed funds, investment portfolios. And what the investment portfolio managers does, they take your capital that you've invested into the ETFs and they create a spread. So the funding is not going to one portfolio. So if your investment capital is not going to one portfolio and it has a spread, your risk is much lower. And in most cases in the ETF space, they are looking at high performance companies, high performance entities. So you're now able to get the highest return on your investment. And that's what El Morris has said. I just decided to go into that because I think it's necessary for the public to really understand
Yes.
why the rush is there, because there's some protectionism that is now built into it because the players give you a spread. You're not going to one portfolio. So if that portfolio collapses, you lose everything. You have a spread. Again, you spoke about Vanguard Index, and Vanguard Index provides the same security. You might put $100, but that $100 is not going to one portfolio again. It is spread either to 100 different companies or 200 companies. So everything is built into those portfolios to ensure that if one company takes a hit, you're only losing 1%. You still have 99.9% of your portfolio that is still safe. So that's the kind of safety net that Elmore is talking about. So I just wanted to add that bit
Thank you.
to what you have said to reinforce what you're saying, because sometimes this language tends to be somewhat abstract for the average person.
Correct.
But I love the points that you would have made. Great point.
No.
And Elmore, I know we already get to warm up in these conversations. We have to commit an entire, couple of hours just to do that deep dive into these portfolios. We'll talk. And perhaps next week I will do a special program with you, so we could do that deep dive into the dynamics of it and bring out some of what is in that book. So we can prepare persons for what's going to be taking place in the future. But
Yes.
Great share. All right, I want to come now to Frank. Frank, can you give me a minute of advice? Any advice to the public that will help them to understand more about money management? Just give me a minute of your best.
Thanks, Gary. Yes, I'll definitely try to remain in the 1 minute. Now, building wealth is a goal that many people aspire to be, but it can often seem like an overwhelming task because it takes time, it takes effort, and of course, discipline to be successful with this goal. My advice is don't be lured by get-rich-quick schemes and too good to be true opportunities that can send you down a dangerous path. The good news is that there are principles and strategies that can help anyone build and preserve wealth over the long term. And the earlier you start putting those into practice, the better your chance of success. And so I will just give you some key takeaways. Building wealth over time is a matter of following 3 basic steps, and you have to stick to them. The first step is to earn money to cover your basic needs with some leftover for saving. The second step is to manage your spending so that you can maximize your savings. And the third step is to invest your money in a variety of different assets so that it's properly diversified for the long haul. That's my minute for you. Young mute.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for that share, Frank. Peter?
Yeah. Okay. So what we want our community to understand when they're dealing with their personal life master plan is to understand the 3 conditions that will impact their personal productivity. 3 conditions that will impact their personal productivity. And the first one is that there is what we call limited productivity. When selling time for money, there's so much only a certain amount of time that everybody has. So if individuals are selling time for money, then their productivity is going to be limited. So what individuals want to do is that they want to have creative productivity. And that's how we get individuals to understand that the best place where they can really generate unlimited wealth is out of their minds. Use your minds, your creative energies, your creative thoughts, your imagination. It's limitless. It goes beyond. There's no, and then to take that creativity. Now we talk about legacy productivity, because you want to be productive in such a way that your life, long after individuals are dead, long after we are gone, we have people to in their personal life master plan is to be productive even while they're dead, they're still producing. So that is limited productivity, creative productivity, and legacy productivity, and those three steps will create the legacy that we so emphasize individuals that they need to have, whereby the family is being impacted, the community is on a larger scale is being impacted, and as we tell individuals that we want to be remembered. So when we understand those three conditions, people will remember us when we move out of limited productivity and apply creative productivity, and then embellish that with legacy productivity.
All right, thanks for that share, Peter. I love those three steps. Leaving the legacy, you're creating systems where you have cash flow, even after you meet the maker. So that legacy lives on. I love it. We can go deep there, buddy. We can go deep there. All right, I'm gonna come to Shabadi. Shabadi, give me your minute on advice.
Okay, thanks, Gary. So 1 minute on the clock, right? 1 minute on the clock, right? So how could project management contribute to wealth, this entire ecosystem, the business of money? I want to look at it from the beginning, right? Which first step for me will be people need to understand change management. Because change management is such a very, very important aspect for you. And Peter will speak a lot about that as well in terms of how can people change. I know that's Frank too. All of us here will talk about change, because we could sit here and talk so much about all these great concepts, crypto, all of that. People have resistance to change. So there's different concepts for projects to work. Change management must be there, right? It's wonderful to know when you really understand it, and people could change. You could change. I will never say somebody cannot change. I've seen it from low level to high level that people can change. So if step one for me, my advice will always be, in my experiences, is change management. We need to understand that. We need to have systems in place for change management. Two will be design thinking. You can't think about any project if you don't know how to get it, right? So design thinking, again, will teach you how to ideate and come about with the project. And then, of course, you're not discussing projects in isolation. You're talking about program management, which is managing multiple related projects. And then we get granular into the project management thinking. So key takeaways in the business of creating wealth and how project management could help me, the entire ecosystem here, would be four points: change management, design thinking, program management, and then project management. It's a structure system for everything that we do to increase productivity, business productivity, and money productivity, I'll say.
Interesting. Change management. I could recall we call the term configuration management when we did project management. And configuration, because as you run a project out, circumstances may change, and you need to have the tools, the configuration management tools, to pull that project back online. And if you don't have those tools, you're lost. Elmer, your minute.
Well, I'm going to speak a little bit on the one part of the book that I think it makes sense to today's talk, and
All right.
I did made a very good distinction in the book on how the fiat works and how the orders get made, and how is it that what we don't have our own treasury create our dollars, but we have a different entity outside that does it, and understanding in the depth into getting more involved into what it is that it is money, so that you can make the right choices, what it is that's happening in the near future, and what it is set to be for the next 10 to 20 years. It's a little bits of pieces that I put it in there just to get you intrigued enough to start to ask questions. These questions are going to make you start to look for some information. And once you start to find out this information for everyone, and this is why I think that this book is going to be something that be left for my kids, that it's going to be of tremendous value, is that my dad was able to see this whole entire change coming before it happened, and he left us this little bit of knowledge in this book to be able to say, hey, our dad was there, and so he was able to put us into position and put everyone else that he knew into position to take advantage of this new monetary system that's coming online that we have to get ready for, because this is now implemented. Now we just have to wait for the change. So yeah, just thank you very much, and I do appreciate the time you guys brought here, and the platform. I really do appreciate it. I always wanted to give thanks. Thank you guys.
You're welcome anytime, Elmore. They say leave the best for last, right? But everybody here is the best. I can't say leave Paul for the last or the best.
Oh, oh,
Because Shabani gonna eat my head off, right? All right, Paul. Can you talk to us about the BFC and your in your minute your concluding remarks before we wrap up?
Yes. I like being last. I like walking behind giants. So
No. You're leading giants.
I walk with them. I don't lead. I just walking
I
with
like
them.
that.
yes. Perfection. Well said, Paul. Great
Very well,
papa.
very well.
You walk with giants. I love that. I love that.
I guess my final words would be 3 things I heard yesterday. Like, you guys know that I like to write down things that people say if they're really good. And so, first one from player Ken. That's player Ken is his name. Don't let your I can'ts control your I cans. I love that.
Yes.
Awesome. And never doubt your beliefs and never believe your doubts. Player Ken. Boom. And then this is from Jeff Eichen. Proceed as if success is inevitable. All of those things apply to everything that we do in life, like 100% of everything we do, those all apply. But relate those to money management and business, and they apply there also. I don't even have to explain them. You guys know what I'm talking about right off the go. So I don't know that I have to take a minute. I'll take the rest of my minute talking about the BFC program. Business finance consultant, if you want to be one, we want you to be one if you're the right person. Who's the right person? The person who's going to go for it. The person who wants to make a lot of money. We want you to have a career change. If you need to work the regular job until this starts paying out in chunks of money, because a regular job, you're going to get hourly, they're going to tax it, and you're going to have a little bit left at the end of it. Let's talk about you getting chunks of money at a time for doing deals. That sounds fun and exciting, doesn't it? It is. So how would we help you do that? We're going to fully support you, going to train you to be an expert. Gary, I'll say it, to be a ninja.
I heard it this time.
A
money ninja.
A money ninja. And it's not hard. It's simple. Here's how baseline it is. You contact business owners. There's probably they're in your family and they're in your friend group. Don't be shy. Contact them and say, do you need money? What do you think they're going to say? They're going to say yes. They're business owners. They're going to say, what do you mean? They're going to say, well, you can say I'm a business finance consultant and I can help you solve any financial problem you have with your business. Do you need equipment? Yeah, I'm buying a dump truck. Okay. You got that locked up at the bank? Well, I don't like the rate that the bank's given me. Or they might say, I got difficult credit, so the bank declined me. You put on your superhero cape and take the role of a ninja and solve that problem for them and get paid for it. A lot of money. That's as simple as I can make it. Paul at patriotbfc.com. Email me, direct message Gary, email him at the email right there below that you're looking at right now. Set an appointment with us. And if you want to make that move, do it. Don't wait. And never doubt your beliefs and never believe your doubts. So let's just do it. Stop waiting, go for it, make a lot of money. We're going to teach you how. We want to work with you. That wraps.
But Paul, in conclusion, can you just repeat those 3 quotes? I really love it, and I want the public to hear it again. Can you repeat it again?
Yes, sir. Don't let your I can'ts control your I cans. I love that. Never doubt your beliefs and never believe your doubts. Don't doubt yourself. Think about it, like Frank said, consider all the courses, but when you know, you know. And don't let people around you tear you down, because they'll try. And they won't mean anything bad by it, but they'll try. And then Jeff Eichen, proceed as if success is inevitable. It is inevitable if you proceed. If you don't proceed, it's not going to happen.
All right, thanks for that share. So for the listening audience across the world who is viewing this program, I want to thank you for taking the time out to be with us today. We know that we have audience in Russia, in India, in Bangladesh, and the Philippines, and the US, and England, and Canada. We know we have audience all over the world. I really want to thank you for taking this time out to be with us today. Do remember, like, subscribe, and share, so you will be the first to get these programs that we're bringing to you on a regular basis. With that being said, I want to thank my team, my dynamic team, for being here with me today, for making such an invaluable contribution to today's topic. See you guys.